All right, so let me try to adjust the audio, make sure that it's good. Okay. Sorry, Zoom's being weird right now. I guess so many people are using the service that it's just super backed up. So it took me a while to just be able to get on the system. I know I've been kind of slacking lately. It's not even slacking. I just had to take a break. Um, it's I mean, these are stories that actually happened in my life, but I try to make them funny. I try to make them entertaining, and it kind of takes a toll on you if you're just doing it nonstop. I just had to take a little break, but I plan on coming back now, um, full swing. It's cool. Mickey Avalon came over today. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Just some of you do, but I'd always been a really big fan of Mickey. I mean, since I first heard him in '06. It's kind of like one of my heroes. He's like a big LA scumbag, and I don't know, he just seemed like a cool ass motherfucker. Yeah, I was such a scumbag. That's who I looked up to. But he's a really nice guy, and I got to meet him through Dirt Nasty, or Simon Rex, I guess is his real name. And yeah, we're going to be collaborating on some shit together. And I've been thinking, I need to start making the incentives better for the tiers because I'm helping him make a Patreon. He's like, should I give gifts? I said, fuck no. Don't give gifts unless you're in the top tier. Sinister has the lithos, and I need to round up the sponsors' addresses. And then if any of you guys in the VIP want something in particular, tell me, and I can start giving them to you guys individually. We'll do the $20 voucher thing. But what I'm going to do, as I talked about in the other videos, I'm just going to start doing a different series for each tier. And then I'll have them trickle down. So, for the $100 tier, I figured out what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a series called What Really Happened This Last Year. So the complete truth behind the scenes, because obviously I was on parole. I couldn't really say crazy shit that was going on, and a lot of crazy shit happened, like crazy fucking gnarly shit. And then a $20 tier will be celebrity stories. So it's like each level is like a different level of trust because, it's stuff that I don't want everybody to see. And then $10 will be Florida. And then we'll go into a new series after that. Eventually, some of the stuff will trickle down to the $3. Some of it won't. That way, everybody feels like they're getting their money's worth. And I want to start working on the consistency again. Just like a week ago, I was really in a good, consistent place. Kind of got burned out, but I realized that I need to get back there. So here I am. So let's get back into the story. I have no idea how long this video is. I used to, on the old program I used, it would just scroll and tell me you've been talking about dick for 40 minutes. I'm like, oh shit. And, it stopped. This one doesn't do that. It's just completely in the dark. So I have no idea how long I've been rambling. It's probably like 14 minutes or something. So let's get into the story. I don't even know which video this is, but it's a new Florida one. Now, I was watching the old video, and this happens to me a lot. I'm going to have a guest on in a couple days that I was in prison with. Surprise. I think you guys will probably be very happy when you see who it is. Whenever he gets around to doing it. Oh, there I go, making shit promises. Can't do that anymore. But anyway, I was talking to one of my old prison friends, and he was telling me that I often fuck up the chronology. He's like, whoa, bro. He's like, you were gay way before you went to prison, dog. You needed friends in there. And I was like, what? I've never said any shit like that. No, but it's the kind of thing where it's different chronology. It's like not even funny. I don't even warm up with the Florida series when it's on Patreon. I don't even warm up. I'm just like straight going. Like I'm like half asleep, and just Mickey came over, and I just passed out the rest of the day. Just woke up. I was like, fuck, I haven't made content for like a year. I need to get back on here. So I apologize if I'll come to life. You can just give me a minute. But I realized that this guy was telling me that I was in prison, that I fuck up my chronology quite a bit. I did that with the Florida story. So I need to correct myself here. What I had said is that I met Alex, after I'd gotten kicked out of the halfway house, which is true, but I forgot to mention why I was at the halfway house. I got confused. I'd gotten kicked out of Pablo's house before all that. and I was staying with that chick who got bukkakied. And then my mom, like during the period after she was like getting that, the college chick was getting gang fucked by the fucking, hey dog, hey, hey, let me see your fucking. I can't even see. I'm like not awake yet. I'll get there though. Just let me unfold a little bit. Hey dog, let me see your belly button, fool. Hey, you look fucking tan, dog. It's fucking disgusting. Don't make eye contact with me, queer. All right, a little better. So after that point, when I was in the closet and I started getting bukkakied, I remember I had nowhere to go. And I forgot to mention this because it's a very important part of the story. I called my parents at that point, and they let me come back to their house just briefly. Now, I had a warrant for my arrest. So this is where the story is going to begin. I had a warrant for my arrest. I had no idea how much time I was going to get. I was thinking the worst they could give me was 6 months. So I end up going to court with my mom, and that was the condition. They would let me back in the house, but I had to go turn myself into court, and or I had to go to my court date because I had a warrant for my arrest. So I end up going with my mom to court. She was always a trooper. She'd go with me to all my court dates. We go in there, and I'm strung out. You know, I had probably been with my parents for like 2 or 3 days. And what ended up happening is we go to court, and I had a paid attorney back then. It was back when like my parents still helped me out with shit like that. And the paid attorney I had was really good. He came up to me and he's like, listen, Mr. Leone. He's like, it's not looking good, man. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, they're really upset that you've been absconding for God knows how long. It was like 6 or 7 weeks, which basically means I was on the run. He's like, I can probably get him down to like 120 days, but the max they can give you is a year. It might be 6 months because that's what they were talking about. That's what Marcel Myers had suggested, and I was on drug court. So I was kind of sitting in court knowing that there was the potential that they could remand me into custody, which means that you're sitting in court and, after they read you your little sentence, whatever, little bullshit county jail sentence, they go, remand this man into custody, and then the sheriffs will come and cuff you and put you into like a drunk tank, and then you go to county jail. It's fucking traumatizing. It's happened to me several times. I usually have like a fucking landline stuck up my ass or something. I usually have a balloon full of drugs. I didn't that day though. I don't know why. It was so long ago. I was like 18 or 19. I was like 19, I think. And but anyway, I go to court and my attorney tells me that. So I know in my mind that I'm probably going to jail. I had kind of like this false hope or like delusion that maybe the judge would like let me, go to some sort of outpatient or something. You always think that when you're a junkie, they'll probably give me outpatient, dog. I'll be all right. And then you always go to jail because this country doesn't give you rehabilitation. They say they do. Very rarely they do. I can't think of too many times that they actually offered me that besides that one drug court. And that was just like, I don't know. Back then, that was like the biggest nightmare. It felt more like a punishment than rehabilitation. So anyway, so I knew I was probably going back to jail. I'm sitting down in like the little wooden, benches that the audience, the court sits in. And they call my case, Mr. Leone. It's not like I corrected. Whoa, it's Leone. It's Leone, bitch. It's not like I did that. I was just like, super bad acne. Probably hadn't showered in 4 or 5 days, and I was dope sick. I remember I was already dope sick. So for some reason I didn't score that day, but I definitely remember being sick. And I stand up, and they start reading the complaint against me. So it's basically like the probation department had written like some summary of how I fucked up drug court. Marcel Myers was recommended custody, et cetera, et cetera. And I think at that point I'd gotten like, I don't remember. It was ridiculous. It was like 13 or 14 dirty drug tests, I want to say. It was something like that. Whatever it was like I had gotten a lot of dirties and I had done a lot of jail time. I'd already done probably 5 or 6 actual violations, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. So the next logical violation for me was 6 months. And, my attorney's asking, if I can go move into a sober living and attend outpatient, to try to address some of my chemical dependency issues. They always like dress it. Well, he has very serious chemical dependency problems, which true, but I was like doing crystal meth and heroin, and I was like living in closets watching college chicks get gang fucked by Lompoc gangsters, which I guess is chemical dependency, really. I mean, normal people don't tend to do shit like that. I certainly hope not. I mean, if you're doing like living that kind of life sober, um, you're probably a sexual predator or something. I don't know. Maybe people do stuff like that sober. That's fucking weird. Just look at some of the community porn on Pornhub. There's some people that are going hard on there. It's like, whoa, the cockled, the bukkake, there's just so many weird subgenres, and you're just like, the fuck? Why would someone want to watch it like this? But to each their own. I'm not one to judge whatever your sexual fetish is. I mean, every woman I've ever been with has been like a cold stone freak, and I've had to accommodate. You want to stick a ruler up my ass? So what? Shoot it. That's never happened. All right. So they call me up, and the judge is basically saying what a piece of shit I am. Mr. Leone, we've given you chance after chance after chance. You have made a mockery of this court system, and I impose a sentence of 180 days. Back then, they were giving me days. Just a few years later, I'd be getting 60 fucking months. 60 months. Imagine how I felt when they read that. 60 months. I was like, oh, all right. Can you take me back to my cell now? I'll see you guys in 59 months. Fuck that. Yeah, that was so traumatizing. Yeah, he said 180 days, and my mom's just like, she always gets really emotional. I mean, she's like, oh my God. Like, she's like the mom that you'd see in the courtroom if her son got convicted of murder, and she starts like freaking out when the sentence comes down. That's how she was over like 180 days. She's like, oh my God, he'll never survive. My son is such a bitch. I'm like, Mom, don't say that. No. So I look at her, kiss her on the cheek. I look up, and the bailiffs are summoning me. So there's like these two like overweight sheriffs, LA sheriffs, or Santa Barbara sheriffs. And they're looking at me, and they're kind of like shuffling towards me. And I know that they're going to come cuff me and put me in the tank, and I'm going to go have to kick heroin cold turkey on the bench. I'm not coming in right with a balloon up my ass, so I'm already going to be like unpopular, because as popular as you are, if you're frequenting a county jail and bringing drugs in with you, try doing that. And then the one time you don't bring them, people fucking expect when they're so happy when they see you. Oh my God, it's Leone. Oh, dude, he probably has a couple grams of heroin and a pocket knife up his ass. Fucking that dude is, he stays ready so he doesn't have to get ready, homeboy. And then you go and you don't have anything, and then they just treat you like shit. Good people in jail, for sure. So, I'm looking at them, and all this stuff is kind of like hitting me at once. I don't want to be sick. I think it really just came down to I didn't want to be sick. I get up, I look at the bailiff, and I kind of start walking towards them. They tell me to sit back down, because usually they come and they're like, will walk up to you and you stand up. They're like, hey, sit back down. My mom's kind of looking at me perplexed, like, what's he going to do? And I just fucking bolt right out the courtroom. Now, we're on the second floor of this courthouse in Santa Barbara. It's like a very, it's like a very posh courthouse, if you can even call it that, a posh court. What the fuck is that? There's people playing, what is it? Croquet? Fuck. That's when I fuck up a joke. There's people like grooming horses on the curb. No, it doesn't work. All right. So, but this is a double-story courtroom. So I have to run from the top courtroom down these spiraling staircases, and then I have to run out this like front lobby. Now, these guys are overweight. I'm like 126 pounds at the time. I'm 19. I'm a smoker, but still, I was like always pretty athletic growing up, because I skated and surfed. I played football in high school. Just always in pretty good shape as a kid. always buff with a little dick. You know what I'm saying? Chicks would be like, at least your personality's bomb. Let me suck your dick. It did happen. So, the pocket knife up my ass was not true. There was the ruler. But okay. So I run, and I mean, that's scary. Like, these guys were trying to chase me down these stairs, and they're not catching up with me. I'm like, I'm like a crackhead featherweight guy. I'm just like, just fucking, I'm like this crazy crackhead flash. I get out of there. And the people in the lobby are like, it's like old ladies with glasses. They're like, oh my God, the rabid dope fiend got away. And I'm just like, I'm gone. When I literally see, nowadays you can't do it because they have metal detectors, they have security there. If you try to do that, you'd probably get shot. We're definitely becoming a militarized police state. That's for fucking sure. It's scary what's happening with law enforcement. Now they have drones that can like smell for drugs. Have you heard about this? It's truth. Look it up. This isn't going to be on YouTube. Downful. You drink hella gay. Okay. So I hide behind this dumpster. I actually called the guy Jesse. Same guy that went, I'm not going to give your mom any fucking vodka, bitch. That guy. Same guy that Karina and I would go stay at his house. And then he caught us because we were like ordering pizza that one time. That's where we did the acid and the pimping story. Called Jesse, and he's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years older than me. That was like my best friend in high school. And I'm like, Jess, dude, I just ran out of the courthouse and like there's cops looking for me. He's like, why the fuck are you calling me? Don't call me with shit like that. Don't call me when you have cops after you. I'm like, come on, you're not gonna help your homeboy? What's up, bro? He's like, fine, I'll give you a ride somewhere. So he's the one that gave me a ride to the halfway house. And I went to the halfway house or the sober living because I knew that they weren't going to be able to find me there. That's what happened. I got the chronology messed up. So you already know what happened. So I go to the halfway house. I'm there. My parents are fucking furious with me. And probably about a month goes by where, where I jacked Paul. I don't know. Whatever the case was, I ended up at that guy Alex's house out in Isla Vista. He sold meth. He gave me a street legal dirt bike, and I was like his runner. I still had money because I had stolen from that guy Samir, which was one of Paul's like best friends up in Northern California. And so with my money, Alex was going up to San Francisco to score more meth because that was like his bread and butter. He sold way to meth. He was one of those guys. He's the guy that had a stripper pole at his fucking apartment. It was crazy. I mean, I'm gonna talk about debaucherous sex shit. Like, shit went down at that house. It was crazy. Like like the girls that would come over there were like the most scandalous women I've ever partied with. It was a wild time. And I was already hanging out with Brittany, who is a stripper, and so she's bringing her friends over. Oh man, that was a crazy period. And I told him to get me an ounce of heroin, a piece, but I'd said an ounce, and that's where I fucked up. And in California, you call an ounce a piece. Piece 25 grams because the metric system. But I'd said an ounce because it's basically the same. Ounce is 28 grams, a piece is 25 grams. It's just like the verbiage was a little off. So I asked him to get me the ounce. Next day, he leaves this paper bag on the kitchen table. I wake up because I'm dope sick. Now remember, I'd stabbed Ian. I had Nazi lowriders after me. Now I had the law after me. My parents wouldn't let me stay with them. I'd burned a bunch of bridges. My girlfriend was getting bukkakied. That wasn't my girlfriend, but I was like hooking up with girls like that. And then I was living at this like just debaucherous flop house meth place, which, I'm 34 now. Look back at that, I'm like, damn. That period with living at Alex's, I think a lot of people would actually really like that period that we were living. And I could give a shit about girls. I was just so strung out on heroin. That wasn't. I was just like, they're so annoying. I just want to fucking shoot heroin and burn holes in my board charts. Get him out of here, Alex. He'd be like, he was a pervert. That's why the character in Wasting Talent's based off of him. So anyway, so I wake up. There's this bag of meth, and I have a freak out. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be sick. And Brittany's just like, why? We can shoot crystal meth. I'm just like, yeah, we can. And meth isn't my thing. I mean, I've done whole videos about like the pocket butthole. Like when I do meth, I turn into a pervert, like a bad one. I'm already a pervert. Well, it depends on what I'm on. If I'm on coke or meth, I'm a fucking straight weirdo, straight up pervert, straight up sexy. Meth, I want to jerk off. Coke, I want to fuck, and I'm better at sex on coke. I wish that my wife was not sleeping. I'd be like, hey, babe, am I better on cocaine? She'd be like, yeah, babe, you are. It's true. And go forever on that shit. And I'm just like, I get like really into it. And I start like talking dirty. And then I start like incorporating storylines. I'm like, yeah. And then we wore a fucking, we wore a fur coat in Alaska. And I had a polar bear tickle my asshole while I licked your pussy. I come up with like these very like convoluted storylines. Like it usually are like exotic locations. There's usually like look like decor and shit. For real. I mean, I'm a really good dirty talker. Can you say it? I'm a good dirty talker. You know what I mean? So I'm with this girl. I don't really like her. She's some stripper. I mean, nothing against strippers. I like strippers. I like porn stars. I like hookers. I don't judge people. That's a fucking legitimate profession. Like, and I think it's weird when people talk shit about porn stars or hookers or strippers. It's like, oh, ew, hookers, gross, homie. What's gross about that? It's probably more honest than most shit you got going on. You know, people use sex to use people for stuff. Men do it to women. Women do it to men. Men do it to men. Women do it to women. It's just how it is. Sex is, sex can be used in a nefarious way. And so there's nothing wrong with that. It's like if you watch porn, you can't think of porn stars gross or some tacky profession. Okay, no more porn for you. You talk shit about a hooker. It's like, dude, no, I'm trying to defend hookers. But I mean, I have nothing against it. It's whatever. So what? I had sex with a lot of women. So what was the point of that? I just wanted to say I had sex with a lot of women. I'm so cool. That's probably what that sounds like. I forget what the point was. I smoke pot, and so I'm a little loopy. So we started doing this crystal meth, and weird sexual shit ensues. It's funny when you're dope sick and you do enough meth, you kind of forget about being dope sick. Like you still have the chills, you don't feel good, but the sexual hypnotization just comes. We were like watching like crazy shit. We were watching like trannies bone chicks, like trannies like holding girls' legs. Brittany's like, "Do you like that?" I'm like, "Why are you talking like a dude?" She's like, "Oh, I love this." I was like, it sounded like she was possessed or something. And it just got increasingly weirder and weirder. She had one of her girlfriends come over from work. It just was like, it was a pretty wild, like, week or so of just straight up injecting crystal meth. And it was the kind of thing where we weren't sleeping. I mean, I get weird when I like, if I inject like anything over a gram of meth, I'd turn into a fucking weirdo. I injected like 10 to 15 grams in a week. I didn't sleep at all. I had like skate tools, like just permanently lodged in my asshole, little like skateboard wrenches. It's like walking around naked just with a wrench up my butt. Like drinking a beer, giving Brittany a high five. Like, this drug is fucking a bomb. Throw in some sunglasses. Just got weird, and I'm not like really exaggerating that. It was just kind of like a weird period. So at the end, we run out of the meth. And It's like probably like 4 in the morning by this point. And I tell Brittany, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna go out and find some heroin. And she's like, Ryan. I'm like, Brittany, what? You can't get heroin. Where would you get heroin? Why haven't you gotten it so far? I was like, listen, check it out. Do you realize where we are right now? And she's like, Alex's. It's like has like the mentality of a third grader. I'm like, no, what city we're in? She's like, no. You know? I'm like, we're in Isla Vista. It's a college town. You know how many people probably use heroin in this town? They probably smoke it, whatever. It's a mathematical certainty that we've dropped drugs or that somebody's dropped drugs at some point and it's on the ground somewhere in the city. She's like, you're so fucking smart. Oh my God. You should come meet my parents next weekend. I was like, yeah, for sure. All right, I'm gonna go look. So I really did, and you know, anyone that has done speed knows that you go in these bizarre meth psychoses. It's either sex, you know what I'm talking about, weirdo shit, and then you start stinking. Like even if you're by yourself, you get that musty smell of masturbation. It kind of smells oniony. It's fucking gross. Like people always know like when I've been tweaking just by how bad I smell. Ugh. It's like sperm like hardens into protein and then it just stinks. Like my dad would always like come in my room when I was a kid. He'd be like, it smells in here. And I was like, I've been masturbating. My dad's like, you're out of control. I'm gonna send you away. I was like, fuck it, I'll masturbate there. You don't understand me, Dad. And he'd always comment on how it stunk in my room. Uh, uh, so anyway, I literally get on my hands and knees and start crawling around Isla Vista, which is, like I said, like a small college town. Now, you'll see like you'll see some sort of like sporadic group of people at random hours. They're probably all coked out. They're seeing me crawl on the floor like I'm some like half man, half like fucking animal. You know, it's probably bizarre. Probably freaked them out. They're all paranoid off coke, and you just see some skinny junkie kid like crawling, like all like starving for narcotics and shit. And so I start looking through little wrappers, thinking I'm gonna find heroin. I'm like, if I was heroin, where would I be? I would be in an empty Wrigley's wrapper. Fuck, nothing in here, just a piece of old gum. And then I'd keep doing that. And like once in a while, I'd find like a little like something that's like black and smushy. It's probably like a piece of shit or something, like some piece of shit that was on someone's shoe and like it fallen like on the sidewalk. And I'd be like, I knew it. And I put it in cellophane. So I had like this like baggie of like just different like little like anything that's like black, brown, that's smushable. And I'm like, when I get home, I'm going to inject all of it. Fuck it. One of these is drugs. Like I was on some straight meth psychosis shit. So this goes on for hours, literally hours, to the point where the sun comes up and like women are like walking their dogs. People have strollers. There's like people going to work and shit. They're like in, dressed to go to work. And I'm not stopping what I'm doing. I'm still crawling. I'm still crawling. And I'm still going through trash. And seeing all the normal people, the civilians of the world, not the vampires like me. So I'm in the vampire class. I'm the weirdo. I'm the guy that stinks like sex and masturbation, and I still have a wrench up my ass. And I'm looking through fucking wrappers for drugs. It was far out. Far out. I never said that in my life. It was far out. Dude, this shit was it was far out, man. Never said that before. I don't know why I'm being so weird. This is what happens when I just wake up and try to do a story, but whatever. You either like it or you don't. I'm sure that someone won't. It's just how it is. So when I see all these people, the civilians, I just have like some sort of like, I don't even know how to describe it, a white light experience, a rev-a-fucking-lation, something that like makes me just have this like intense moment of clarity where I'm like, wow, what am I doing right now? You know, it's just, I know if you've done speed, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like when you're just jerking off and you cannot decide on a picture. You can't decide on a video. Like seriously, if you're into one category on like a porn website, you exhaust the whole category, homie. The whole thing. And then like, you know, the sun's like cycling, you know, like the sun's like going down and then going up, like full days are going by and you're just fucking beating it to the point where you're dehydrated. And then as soon as you come, you're like, oh, what the fuck did I just do? I feel weird. And then you start doing it again. It's kind of meth in a nutshell. It's the same thing if you're not on some perverted shit. Like, once I kind of realized what I was doing, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And I saw these normal people scared of me. Like, it was like the first time that I realized that, like what I probably look like to other people. I was filthy. I had this little, like, you know, bag full of my like weird samples that may or may not be drugs. Probably they're not. I don't even care. I just want to inject something just for hoping that it'd probably kill me if I shoot up raccoon shit or something. You know what I mean? And I start crying. And I'm not, you know, I'm not a big crier. I mean, I'm not above it. I still cry. When Paul died, I cried hardcore. And I do periodically since because it makes me, I don't know, it just fucks me up. But you know, I start crying. And it was like the real deal. You know, there's crying where like tears come out and you're just kind of like, well, that's sad. Like you can get that way like in a sad movie or something. Like the end of Blow, you know, where George doesn't meet Christina. I'm friends with Christina now, so that part like fucking really makes me mad. It's like she's like a good personal friend of mine. It just really fucking bugs me that he did that to her. But anyway, whatever. But anyway, so there's that kind, just tears coming out, and then there's like the kind of like melodramatic, you know, where people are kind of full of shit, like I can't believe that you ate the last Pop Tart. You're such a piece of shit. It's all about you. It's all about you. That doesn't happen at our house all the time. And then there's like the real deal, like that kind of shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like the embarrassing, like I always think it's fucked up on TV when like someone's kid got killed. Which now that I'm a father, dude, I can totally see that would make it, I would be a fucking wreck. And I feel so bad for people like that. That has to be like the greatest loss a person can possibly endure. I can't even imagine losing your child. And you know how you see them cry on TV? It's that kind, like the embarrassingly, like, I think that's fucked up that reporters record that, you know? Think about it. Somebody's making that decision, like, yo, Bob, we got some dank ass footage today. Some dad crying because he lost his kid to a school shooting. Yeah, you want me to put it in your Dropbox? It's pretty fire, bro. Straight up. Then he gets it. That is pretty fire, bro. Thanks for sending. We're gonna put that on television. That's like probably how it goes down. That's fucking gross. You know, it's like how could you really exploit someone in that situation? Point is though, is that's what kind of crying I was doing. Cowardly lion shit. I had a breakdown. You know, straight up had a breakdown. Fucking yanked the wrench out of my ass. I was like, I need this no more. And I got on my phone. I had like the Nokia, you know, with like Snake on it. Snake 2, actually, I think. Underrated game, if you ask me. Pretty cool game. And I, you know, I did. This is pre-internet on phones. Now, like, we're so used to like arguing with someone, be like, hold on, I'm gonna Google that shit. You can look up any business. Back in the day, as I'm sure most of my audience knows, but it's weird to think that some people that watch my shit would know. Back in the day, you had to call something called 411. You press 411, they charge you something like ridiculous. It's like $8 to fucking have some operator who probably had the internet, you know? She just had like a computer in front of her, and they charge you like shit. It wasn't $8, but it was a lot. And they would be like, city and state, please. And you'd be like, Ryan Leone. And then, it would be like, one moment, please. For an extra $1.75, we can connect your call. Da, da, da. And so they like upsell you. So you actually had to call this number 411 for them to do it. So I call 411 and they're like, city and state, please. See, it's some automated thing. And then eventually it connects you to like a real operator. And I'm sobbing. I'm like, rehab. That's all I said, rehab. And so the operator comes on. She's like, sir, we're having a hard time understanding you. Are you okay? I was like, I need rehab. And she's like, I need a city or state. I was like, I need rehab. She's like, one moment. And then the thing comes on. We can connect your call. And so I connected. This benevolent black chick picks up. And I've told this story before, but now we're actually getting to Florida. So like it's important to go over this, I think. This benevolent black lady's like, hello? And I'm like, ah. And I just can't talk. And she's like, honey, you there? And I'm just like, I'm addicted to heroin and crystal meth. And she starts talking to me. She's like, baby, let me tell you about when I was a crackhead back in Brooklyn, 1979. Shit, I'm good now, baby. The nice black lady. I love them. Sounds so racist. I don't mean it like that. Just like a nice black lady. Fuck, you should be able to say that without it sounding fucking racist. I'm not racist, but a nice black lady. That's how she talk. Like, shit, I was smoking rock back in '79. Listening to Soul Train, smoking that rock. Sounds like a black guy though. Black guy, not woman. I don't know if I could do a woman. Yeah, but I don't know. No need to practice here. This is the kind of shit I do in front of my mirror. I put a wrench in just for old times. But she's really nice to me, and she basically tells me that she was addicted to crack, and she had like 20 years sober or something, 30 years sober. And I know it sounds cliche, but whatever she was saying made me feel like I could be sober too. It was just nice to be able to talk to somebody without them judging me, you know? Yeah, yeah. I can only imagine some of the shit that people say to her. But I'm basically crying, and she's like, and she's pretending like she cares. Then, baby, do you got insurance? I don't know any better. I was like, my parents have Anthem Blue Cross. So I just start reading them her the number because I have it in my wallet. She's like, I'll call you back in 30 minutes. So I felt better talking to her. She told me she was going to get me help. She ends up calling me back in 30 minutes. I think in that time I had gone back to Alex's apartment. Pretty sure that's what happened. And Brittany's there just like, she's got this like, she's like literally sticking a candlestick with a condom on it, like in her asshole. I swear, I'm not even making that up. That's like exactly what it was. She's like sitting there just like straight spearing her butthole with a candlestick with a condom. I'm like, what's the point of the condom? And she's like, it hurts without it. I'm like, oh my God, you're such a whore. All right. Hey, I'm going to rehab. She's like, okay. I was like, do you care? Like, I'm not going to be around anymore. She's like, I don't care. Close the door. I was like, okay. And that was that. The end of that relationship. And then eventually this black lady calls me back and she tells me that, my insurance isn't going to cover it. And I was like 19 at the time. And so I'm still under my parents' policy. And I'm like, fuck, what does that mean? She's like, well, if you got somebody that can pay it out of pocket, well, baby, it's expensive, baby. I don't like it. Doesn't really sound legit. I have to practice. You got to have somebody that can pay it out of pocket, baby. Kind of sounds like Michael Jackson. All right. I'll work on the black lady impression and I'll get back to you guys on it. So I was like, well, I mean, my parents have money and stuff. How much is it going to cost? She's like, 500 a day. I was like, oh, drop in the bucket. Let me see. So I ended up taking the dirt bike that Alex gave me up to my parents' house. Last time that I'd seen my mom and dad, I'd run out of the courtroom. So they were just like, I wasn't calling. I thought there was probably like some like straight task force looking for me. But you always think that they don't give a shit. They just put a warrant out for your arrest. And if you get pulled over, or if they detain you for some reason, you go to jail. That's it. There's no like, I mean, well, sometimes it depends on what you're wanted for, but probation violation, they're usually not that strict on. So I show up and my mom's happy to see me. So is my dad. They're always happy to see me. And they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I need help. They're like, you need to go to jail. The cops had come looking for me there, actually. And they had told me that. Like, the cops came looking for you. And we can't do this anymore, Ryan. I was 19. It's like, man, you think that's bad? you know, how many more years? 19, 20, 14, like 15 more years of this shit. So I go inside. We always have meetings. My dad's like, okay, let's have a meeting. So he'll do like bullet points, like the pros and cons of me being a fucking dope fiend. And, I'm telling him it's $500 a day. And my dad's just like, I'm not going to pay that. That's ridiculous. He's like, that's like your whole college fund. And so I just roll up my sleeves and I show them track marks. They didn't know that I shot drugs yet. It was like the first time they had seen me with track marks, and they were just like mortified by it. God, my nose is so fucked up. Always. And I don't know, that was like enough for my dad to be like, okay, I'll pay for treatment. I don't want you to die. Which is exactly what I would do for my son if God forbid, he ever goes down a similar path. I mean, Karina and I are both really bad drug addicts and alcoholics, so who knows? I certainly hope not, but I'm expecting it. So, I would do the same, put him in treatment. And so he's like, okay, let's get a suitcase together and we'll go. So he calls the black lady, gets it all set up, pack a suitcase. I don't even know where I'm going. My dad's like, yeah, we're going to go to the airport in the morning. You can sleep here tonight, and we leave first thing in the morning. I was like, oh, the airport? Where are we going? And he's like, you're going to Boca Raton, Florida. I'd never even heard of that place. I was like, what the fuck? What? See, I didn't realize where I was calling. But that's the place I chose. So that's the place my dad paid. So on top of having to pay $500 a day, now he has to pay for the plane ticket too. And that is how I got to Florida. That's it. No, now we're gonna actually start the series. But I figured like the pre-Florida, like what led up to it, some interesting stuff happened. And I know I've told most of that stuff before, but once we get to Florida, it's pretty much all original shit up until Mike Virgin. And then we'll put the Megan videos in at that point because they'll be most relevant right then. And it's been a fucking nightmare getting those from her. But don't worry, we got the first one. We're gonna get the interview now. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Sorry, I don't know if this video is good or not, but it's something. I'm gonna try to do something else now. Appreciate you. Palabra.